Closed captioning for the Casey Malone Show is sponsored by Hunter Stevens Land Title Agency. Integrity, service, and commitment you can trust.
Oh yeah, Casey Malone is serving up local. It's time for the stories of our region, the tastes, the sights, the sounds, and the people in and around the valley. Get ready for some local flavor on the Casey Malone Show.
Today we crash a Kentucky Derby party, and I prepare one of my seasonal favorites, wild ramps. But first, we're off to Sadies Place in Austintown for great casual food. Well, Joe, you are quite the restaurant mogul now. Not one, but 2 locations.
I don't think 2 restaurants make you a mogul.
How did Sadies Place happen?
Well, Margaret and Bob, who own this hotel, the Best Western, they would come to the upstairs for lunch all the time. And when the former tenant moved out of here, they called me and asked me if I would look at it.
So what really did you have in mind when you took this over? With the Racino across the street?
I didn't do it because of the Racino. I did it because of all these hotels around here. These hotels are very busy. We get a lot of action from the hotels. We get action from the casino, but we don't, our action comes from the hotels. And we are getting a lot of local trade.
Well, you may not have opened this because of the Racino, but you did take advantage of the horse racing thing.
You know what? When we were trying to find a name for this, we didn't, we were going to play it off at the casino, so on and so forth. And I couldn't come up with a name. I mean, it was just the hardest thing there. One name after the next, so on and so forth. And my brother Champ, he said, call it Sadies Place. I said, I don't think I want to do that. Well, when I finally says, okay, we'll call it Sadies Place, my mother says, well, why am I doing paintings of horses? I said, just do the paintings of horses, okay? And it was just this big thing about, the name. And I still don't know why I call it Sadies Place. It's Champ's fault that it's Sadies Place.
Well, you're a Sadie, and it's your place.
Exactly.
So I think it works.
It works. It's okay.
Now, when you and Tim sat down to design the menu,
First of all, Tim doesn't sit down with anybody when he designs a menu.
Okay, so when Tim sat down and designed the menu and you approved it,
all he does is when it's all said and done, do you like it? I said, yes, I like it. Because if you say no, it doesn't matter anyway. It's Tim's menu.
Well, I like that you have starting line, handhelds. You wanted a more casual menu, huh?
Very casual. Very casual. The foods are really good. And like I tell everybody, if you don't like it, it comes with a money-back guarantee. We'll get you something else. Just tell us you don't like it. I don't, you're supposed to be happy. You're coming out, you're spending money on food, it better be good.
You've been in the restaurant business for how many years?
27 years. Well, the upstairs, 27 years. I had a couple of mishaps in between.
How do you think it has changed? I mean, really, what are the changes that you've seen from when you first began to 2000?
When we opened up, it was just a bar. My Uncle Joe and I opened that in March of '88, which was 27 years ago. Uncle Joe kept saying, open up kitchen, let's open up the kitchen. I said, we don't need a kitchen, we're making money. He talks me into opening the kitchen, we open up the kitchen, and it just kept snowballing. It just kept getting bigger and bigger.
You have a nice, easy, compact menu.
My menus are small, even at the upstairs, but everything is fresh. Okay, nothing's frozen, everything is fresh, and that's how you keep it rolling through. You see these real big menus, and what the hell? They're cooking out of a freezer. We have a small, fresh menu. There's something for everyone. And if there's something that you want, if we have it back there, we can do it. If you want something special, ask us. If we can do it, we'll do it for you. Now, don't come in here on a Saturday night when we're packed and hey, can you do this and this and this? No, I can't. All right, I got 92 tickets hanging back there, and you want me to do all of it, you know what I mean? The other night, some guys at the upstairs, we're packed. All right, I want mashed potato. We don't have mashed potato. Well, they did them for me the other night. You know what? I said, wait a few minutes, we'll get you your mashed potatoes. Like I said, we keep it small, keep it fresh. Food's always good. I'm not perfect, we're not perfect. Sometimes we screw up, but we'll fix it.
I love your mom's horse racing paintings. I love the ponies, and I'm so glad there's now a headquarters for all the big Triple Crown races, and you can serve as that.
Oh yeah, we got the Kentucky Derby, we got the Preakness, got the Belmont Stakes. You can go over there, bet your horses. Come on over here, watch it on the TVs here.
What would you do if you weren't in the restaurant business?
Oh, I'd be a porn star.
Okay, so if you're a porn star, it's supposed to be your first pet and then the street you grew up on. So what would your porn star name be?
Well, I grew up on Norquest Boulevard.
Okay.
And our first pet that we had for a long time was Susie, so that's not going to work. But prior to Susie, my dad bought us this little dog. He was a little, what do they call those things? Not a bulldog, but a
boxer?
A boxer.
A boxer, okay.
He was a boxer. And his name was Buddy.
So your buddy,
Right.
Norquest.
Whatever. I need another scotch.
The Casey Malone Show will be right back with more local flavor. I've got your next t-shirt idea for the magic trick. Eat, drink, celebrate, repeat.
Casey,
You like that?
that is our slogan.
Okay, well I got this for
But
a
you know
t-shirt.
what? I think we need to put that on a t-shirt. But yes, you know, when it comes to our food, we truly have the passion for bringing great quality food. We make from scratch. We support local farmers with our farm-to-table menu, and that's what we do. And then when it comes to our beverages, our drinks, I mean, we have 41 craft beers on tap. We really have the passion for the craft beer, and we are the only place this side of the state that does wine on tap. You cannot get a better quality. And then celebrate here at Magic Tree. You know, it's all about creating a memory for people.
And you see all the different celebrations, all the things that people just love to party here. And I'll tell you, eat, drink, celebrate, repeat.
Cheers.
I'm Mayor John McNally. When elected, I promised to improve every ward of our city. I have kept my promise. Youngstown is safer. Youngstown is cleaner. Youngstown is growing. I will continue to keep Youngstown moving forward. I'm asking for your vote. I've earned it.
Part of growing up in Youngstown is growing up with Ruiz Brothers markets. Even friends who have moved out of town come to shop and say hi when they're home for a visit.
And my family has always shopped at Ruiz, and today they are still my favorite grocery store. My recipes depend on the best ingredients, and that's why I get them at Ruiz, where you'll always find the freshest food at the best prices.
Ruiz Brothers is a proud sponsor of the KC Malone Show. The quality that customers have come to expect is true local flavor.
$5 Burger Mondays at Sadies Place, inside the Best Western, Route 46, Austintown. After the brutal and horrific winters we experience around here, one of the first signs of spring, along with crocuses, would be the ramp. I just love ramps. They grow wild, they're in a sandy soil, usually pretty moist, near a stream on hillsides, and you can see the beautiful bushy leaves, the red stem, and then the white bulb. They have a very strong onion garlic flavor and a very, very short season. And you really don't want to fight with the flavor. So I always try to find recipes that will enhance them and really showcase their wonderful flavor rather than burying them in a lot of ingredients. A lot of times they're referred to as wild leeks, but they're just good old-fashioned ramps, and they mean that spring has sprung. So I'm going to prepare a pesto and a grilled version over cheesy grits to show you how to highlight these beautiful signs of spring. For this recipe, you'll need about 20 ramps cut into 2-inch pieces, 1/2 cup of toasted walnuts, 1/2 cup of Romano cheese grated, juice and zest from 1 lemon, 1/3 cup of extra virgin olive oil, and salt and pepper to taste. To make make it easier to process, I cut the ramps, and I use everything because these are very, very fresh and tender. And I cut them into about 2-inch segments to make it easier to add to the food processor. So we are going to add these to the bowl of my food processor here. All right, along with that, I am going to add my toasted walnuts. Again, I like walnuts. They're more inexpensive than pine nuts. They don't have as much oil, and I just think they add a better flavor and texture, but you can add whichever one you prefer. And I'm also going to add the zest of 1 lemon. So just put it right over the bowl. Add that alongside because this really freshens up the flavor. So we have the ramps, the toasted walnuts, and the lemon zest in the bowl of the food processor, and now we'll turn it on and we'll just chop it up till it's all uniform. That looks just about right. Okay, so now the next step is adding our lemon juice and olive oil. I am going to remove this lid quickly. I'm going to scrape down the sides. Everything's down in there. Oh, smells so good. And then I am going to just squeeze the juice from the lemon in here now to join with its friends. Now the lemon juice has been added, so now we are going to turn on the machine. And while it's running, we'll drizzle in between 1/3 and 1/2 cup of olive oil. What a beautiful bright green this is. And then I'm going to add our 1/2 cup of Romano. You can also add Parmesan or whatever kind of hard, sharp cheese that you prefer. I'm making such a mess here. All right, so we'll put that on. And then just one more blend to combine it quickly. And that's it. It's done. Adjust your salt and pepper seasoning after you remove it from the bowl. So the pesto with pasta is one option. And I just got a little rigatoni noodle with the edges so it'll catch all these wonderful flavors. If you find that it isn't loose enough, always make sure you reserve just a little bit of the starchy pasta water, and that will help loosen it up. So this is option 1, pesto over pasta. Now let's get ready for option number 2. All right, so you ready for the second recipe? Cheesy grits with grilled ramps on top. So first thing we got to do is make the cheesy grits. I have 5 cups of salted water brought to a boil, and now I have 1 1/4 cup of quick cooking grits that we will add to this. Now the secret to grits is they constantly need to be stirred. Even though they're quick, it is about 5 minutes. Well, it's been about 5 minutes. And I've been stirring this for exactly 5 minutes, and now my arm is getting sore. But you can see that the grits pull away when mixed. And that is how you know that they are done. Now we're going to add 1 1/2 cups of a sharp white cheddar that has been shredded. And we'll just start mixing that. Oops, I am the messiest cook today. Until that gets incorporated. We have 4 cloves of finely minced garlic, 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne, yes please, and then a 1/2 cup of 1/2 and 1/2. Look at how beautiful that's coming together. Oh, it smells so good. Now we'll just make a bed of cheesy grits on a big platter. We'll spread this evenly. While I was plating the grits, I heated my grill pan with a little bit of olive oil to get it ready for my ramps. I really like the leaf part, So I just throw the whole thing in. They wilt very quickly. We are just going to char them a little bit. So after you plate the grilled rams, just drizzle lightly with a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. Give it a few grinds of fresh black pepper. And this dish is ready to be served. Oh, it's absolutely wonderful. This would make a great entree, and again, a really interesting and nice side dish. Those grits are perfectly done. And I'll tell you, they are really a nice accompaniment to the nice oniony garlic flavor. And when I told my trusty beverage consultant, Phil Reed, about these dishes, he recommended the Whip. It is a beautiful white wine blend from Myriad as well, out of Livermore, California. Crisp, nice, and it really enhances these spring flavors. Just delicious. Go to my website, CaseyMaloneShow.com, for both recipes, the pesto and the cheesy grits with grilled ramps. You are going to embrace spring. It's here. Cheers.
Take off with the Casey Malone Show. Woohoo!
Step up to XMark, the mowers that have been beautifying landscapes for more than 3 decades, featuring high-performance zero-turn riders like the new XMark Radius, starting at just $49.99. With any XMark, you'll get a great-looking cut in less time, every time. That's why landscape pros purchase XMark 2-to-1 over the next best-selling brand. So what are you waiting for? XMark, ready to work for you.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Bernard. You know, every personal injury case has its own unique circumstances. The best advice I can give to anybody who suffered an injury is please call a lawyer. Don't try to settle the case on your own. When you contact our office, you will talk to a lawyer. And we're not going to charge you for just walking in our door or giving us a call. In fact, we won't get a fee unless your case is successful. Personal attention is what our clients deserve. It's our #1 priority.
Hi everybody, I'm Danny, owner and operator of Catullo Prime Meats, the 3rd generation butcher shop that not only specializes in quality, but also in customer service and doing things in a new technological way. Chris here is our customer service manager. Chris, what do you think that we do differently than any other grocery store?
I think we personally not only offer great product, but we can offer a great customer service experience as well. We try and treat all our customers like they were family and friends, ask how their family's doing just so they can keep in touch, and give them that customer experience that they deserve.
And the nice part is we not only do that inside the store, but also on CatulloPrimeMeats.com, where you can buy a lot of our products that we carry here, whether it be grass-fed beef, organic chicken, some of our specialty burgers and bacon. Those are wonderful, and we're going to provide that same customer experience online as we do in store.
Come see us in store or online. Make your next meal one to remember.
I'm Mayor John McNally. When elected, I promised to improve every ward of our city. I have kept my promise. Youngstown is safer. Youngstown is cleaner. Youngstown is growing. I will continue to keep Youngstown moving forward. I'm asking for your vote. I've earned it.
4 for $5 till 6. Happy hour at Sadies Place inside the Best Western, Route 46, Austintown.
My mom was always in my corner.
Always pushing me to do better.
I couldn't have asked for a better mother.
So when she needed assisted living,
I did my research.
Doctors, nurses,
and others with family and assisted living,
they all said,
Trust the name you know.
Briarfield.
for assisted living with top healthcare experts, a caring staff, and a comfortable home-like setting.
Trust the name you know.
Briarfield.
Trust the name you know. Briarfield. Proudly serving the Valley for over 20 years. My dad, Stephen J. Komara, opened a jewelry store in 1948. He sold high-quality jewelry at a fair price. We are keeping the family tradition alive. I'm Bob Komara. Along with my children, Rob and Brianna, Komara's has the largest selection of diamonds and engagement rings in our area. You can trust Komara Jewelers to offer the best value and personal service. Komara Jewelers, locally owned by the third-generation Komara family and working on the fourth. Get real, get Komara.
This year, the Run for the Roses celebrated its 140th year. It is the pinnacle event for horse racing. Not everyone can make it to Churchill Downs in Louisville, but the next best thing is throwing your own derby party. One of my favorite events each and every year is that first Saturday in May. It is Kentucky Derby Day. And the Ladies AOH was looking for a new and different fundraiser. And when I had the big mouth and suggested that, everyone thought it was a good idea.
And we made her chair.
And then they made me chair of the event. So we are all here celebrating the Kentucky Derby, and what is it? The fastest 2 minutes in sports.
History, yes.
And you know, the Irish do have a long history with horse racing.
Well, anyone who's seen The Quiet Man understands that this is what horse racing is all about. And in Ireland, in the counties, they still perform these kind of horse races that they did in The Quiet Man. Horse racing is a big thing in Ireland, so we as Irish thought we should do the Kentucky Derby.
And, you know, a lot of times you'll see some of the horses are from Ireland with a lot of Irish trainers in that.
Yes, they take their horse breeding very seriously in Ireland.
So we are doing the official drink, which is the mint julep, and we are about to get ready to sing My Old Kentucky Home, and we're doing some wagering, and we're really just celebrating horse racing.
The Kentucky Derby.
My husband Ken and I are huge Derby aficionados, and every year we bet. Now, who is your horse this year?
All I've got to say is that's a fabulous hat you're wearing.
Thank you.
And you look just, smashing today.
Well, thank you. Who is your horse this year?
I'm going with the jockey, Burrell. That's on Ride on Curlin. Ride on Curlin is who he is. Everybody has their own strategy. Some people take a horse that has music in the name, or they go with numbers, or they go because the track's wet, so the mother's a mutter, and the father's a mutter, and of course that makes them a mutter. Some people, I don't know what they do, but everybody has their own little thing. And this year, my thing is going to be the jockey. I think it's going to be Burrell.
Well, in honor of VEG, my horse this year is Vince Ramos. That was my choice this year. And I do want to do a shout out. You did talk about my hat. I bought the hat and I brought it to Diane over at Michael's in the Boardman Plaza. Thank you, Diane, and she embellished it for me. It does look cute, huh?
The old Kentucky home, 'tis summer, then my old Kentucky home. Good night.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby. And from the back of the pack on the outside, commanding curve is taken second. But California Chrome shines bright in the Kentucky Derby.
It's the 140th running of the Derby. I honestly, Christy, I feel like we've been to each and every one of them.
We have, and if you would have gave me the stick one more time, I was. That was everyone was telling me, California Chrome. Everybody said, Chrissy, no, the long shots. Favorites don't win the Derby. He is an impressive horse. They say Triple Crown, this is our best shot.
But you can't win any money with the favorite. No, so you got to figure out second place is where you got to go in.
Guess who came in second? Like a horse that went off. What was his final odds? 20, 35, 37 to 1. Only the horseshoe like Vince Ramos was a bigger long shot than that cat.
I know, and you know what?
That is going to make for a good exacta with a 5-2 and then a 37-1. That's the beauty of it.
My dad's lucky number is 17.
Yes, but he's Vince.
I went with Vince, and I should have gone with the number. And she told me this a couple days ago when we were talking. And what you just can't. It's exhausting. The Triple Crown, though, is a lot of fun.
Yes. So
we do have the Pimlico coming up, you know.
We are due. We got Preakness and then the Belmont.
Rachel's is doing the catering for our Derby party, and we're here at the Immaculate Heart of Mary Parish Center. And Stephanie Morgan has been bartending all night. Stephanie, I made the simple syrup. Have people been complaining about my recipe?
They love it. Love it.
And what I did was I steeped, simple syrup, 1 cup sugar to 1 cup water, and then I put leaves in it, mint leaves, and let it sit overnight. So you are going to show us how to make an authentic mint julep.
Yes. It's 2 parts of the Evan Williams bourbon.
That's right. We went with Kentucky. We were a little mad at Jim Beam because they were sold, to people from overseas. So I was a little upset about that. So we went Evan Williams. Nice Kentucky bourbon.
And then we're going to do 1 part of the simple syrup.
Very good. And then we'll add some ice. Nice.
A fresh mint sprig.
Nice.
And we top it with soda.
Lighten it up a little bit, and there you go. Stephanie, let me know how you did.
Delicious. Delicious.
Let's hear it for California Chrome. Woo! Woo! The Casey Malone Show is sponsored in part by Denise and John York and the DeBartolo Corporation.